Okay. It is Monday. We are live. It is a needle felting day. We are currently needle felting along with Bob Ross's Joy of Painting Season 3. We are up to tutorial number 12. The link is in the chat for those of you who wish to see the tutorial in full, uninterrupted, unmuted, unpaused, all that stuff. Okay. Now, when we last left off yesterday, we were working on our grasses around our lake here. We got this side done. We still have to finish up this area. So that's what we're gonna get to here. Be very careful when handling your needle. Our little... I am all sorts of fumble hands today. There are our little Barbie guys on the sides of that. Okay. So let's get to pulling out some fluff here so that we can get started here. Oh, that's right. I wanted to go to Dollar General. Shit. Well, maybe we can go later tonight. I really need a piece of a pool noodle or something. Pool noodle would be about the easiest to deal with, I think. To attach it to the side of my keyboard tray and then remove it so I can just slide it on and off. Because my feet are up on a box. At least my one foot is at the moment. And that's putting the side of my knee digging into the edge of my keyboard tray. Because my keyboard tray is on the opposite side of my desk. And it's making that side of my knee a little sore. I'm thinking if I get one of the thinner pool noodles, I can slice a slit in the side of it and just kind of Pac-Man it on there. Alright, so we get a little bit of water. And I'll start to roll this guy together. So this is the same three colors we were using yesterday. Our forest green, our light green, and our mustard green. And we're just gonna kind of pick back up here. So wherever we think is a good spot. And we'll see how things go today. Now, I probably could have brought that over a little bit further, actually. So, tell you what. We'll slide that to about there. And we'll flare out our fiber bits there. Okay. And I just want to try to keep the base of our grass, oh, careful, somewhat even there. You know, as best as we can. I know it's not going to be perfectly even, but I would at least like to attempt to get it a little close to even for me. Sorry for the extra nasally sounds. It's a bad allergy day. They're saying grass is moderate, but I feel pretty stuffy. I did have to take some Benadryl earlier though, so I'm not sure if that's contributing to the stuffy feeling or what. Okay. So today's goal is to get this section done at the very least with the grassy bits. We'll see if that's even possible here. To get done today. We'll try. I think it will be. I mean, we covered quite a bit of ground yesterday. And managed to get started a bit early today, so I'm thinking we might be able to get some ground covered today. Sorry, I wasn't sure if there was a doggo behind me. Do we need to do doggy nails tonight? When was the last time we did them?
I probably need to do so in the near future.
We need to check over Zuzu real good today too. I'm not sure if the boy's just itchy. Okay. So that section in there looked like it could use just a little more tapping. Probably just a side effect of putting the grass in where it's making that area look a little more raised up. Could be because it needs a little more tapping. It could be that it's just a side effect, since this area is getting tapped down. Why do I hear tappy feet? Who is it? Oh, it is you. Okay, guys, give me 1 minute. I gotta get Momo out. I was hoping that he would stay napping. I'll get him.
You sure?
Well, you just sat down, so I will be right back in just a minute. Okay. Sorry about that. Ow. When doggo demands to go, doggo demands to go. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. Even though I just took him out, like not even... I feel like it was not even an hour ago, but... I could be wrong about that. Okay. So where were we? We were about in here, I think. So everybody had a good weekend. Okay. Well, I guess that section is just going to be a little bit thicker. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. So the next row I'm going to have to make a little bit taller, like lengthen it a little. If we want to get this section of grass done today. In a timely manner. I still need to get some stretcher bars and make a frame. I'm not sure if it'll work. I don't know if I'll just end up clacking it against the desk. But ideally, I would like to make a frame out of stretcher bars. Or hell, even just a picture frame that this thing will sit inside of, like if I take the glass out. And take some puffy paint. They still call it puffy paint. The 3-dimensional t-shirt paint in the tubes that you squeeze out. And do some circles of it on the back to add as grippy feet. Although I guess you could get the grippy... I don't know how grippy they are though. There's like little dots that you can get, I think, from 3M. Maybe like non-skid dots perhaps, but I mean, if I have the paint already. So I'd only need to get the stretcher bars. I do have to measure, or a picture frame, depending on what's cheaper. Although I feel like the stretcher bars would be more solid, but not necessarily. And then I wouldn't have to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with the glass from in the middle of it, so... not sure what size this is. It kind of looks like maybe 12 by 12 ish. I mean, we could just measure it. I keep saying I want to do it. And I keep forgetting to do it. Okay. Alright, let's pop that up. Okay. I will say, it is a weird atmosphere outside. It's getting warmer out than when I first got up. It looked like we were going to get rain and we didn't get it. I think the other half of the state got it because I saw some storms well to the east when I got up, like heading for the state line of Tennessee. And now it's getting hot out. The sun's coming out. And it's almost take your breath away humid outside. It's weird. Unless that's just me. Which it very well could be. They've also have been cutting hay fields in the past week. And they've been moving around the big round hay bales that are probably taller than me or close to my height. And it's been windy, so I'm like, oh good, because we're surrounded by hay fields. That's one way you find out you're allergic to hay. Alright. So we definitely are going to need to mix more of this. For sure. So let's scrape out that bit of fluff. And start to tap that all in. That first one in the row always looks a little wonky. Alright. Finish tapping that in, and then we'll flick that guy up. Alright, sorry, I was just making sure my head wasn't in the way. like the tops of this row are just kind of vanishing into the next, and that happens sometimes. Let's see, do we think we can get one more out of this before I have to flip it? Maybe. Maybe it's gonna be cutting it a little close. So like you want to fan out the fiber a little bit, but not so much that you lose it in the layer, kind of. Now, if you really wanted to, if you wanted this to be like a field of wildflowers, surrounding your lake here, you could totally grab some little tiny fluff balls and dabble those around to give the impression of some wildflowers. That is an option if you wanted to add even more color into here. Okay, I'm gonna do a brush down here. So we haven't done one since we got started yet today. Okay, I was a little stingy on the light green in that section. So we'll try not to be quite so stingy with it on this one. Alright, and we'll get a little bit more of our mustardy color here. So it's not like a French's mustard yellow, it's more of like maybe a Dijon mustard yellow, or like a stone ground. I still feel like it kind of feels like an ochre color. Okay. So let's get back down into it here. But we've got our next round of fluff all ready to go. next bit. I can keep the mat from sliding all over, that would be great. And yeah, I could probably just put a dot of the puffy paint on the corners of the mat. But part of me didn't want to do that to the mat. I mean, I guess we could. Like, that is possible. And that would eliminate the cost needed for the stretcher bars, although they're not that much money. It would probably be under $10. Probably. Or about $10. Let's see, I keep taking it up. Because for some reason, I really want this to be on an angle. For some reason, my brain's like, nope, it lives here now. And Brain and I keep having a very big difference of opinion on that. Alright, so we'll just tap in all of these guys in here. Alright. Stay put. Alright, so we'll start to get our tips in place on this one first. Just because that's how I want to do it this time. Okay. That got a little bit thicker than it had been lately, but that's okay. I mean, it happens. It also happens that I keep stabbing the end of this finger protector. Apparently, I'm mad at it for some reason. No, my aim's just terrible. That's all that is. which is why I wear them. And sometimes my depth perception's not the greatest. Okay. So we'll get another bit of fluff here and we're just going to keep on going. Try to tap in so that we are somewhat even. With the baseline there. Because this section I really kind of need to take all the way over. Because I didn't on the last row. Have a bunch of stuff I need to prime tonight. I'm either going to have the fan on or the heat gun out. I'm not sure which. I'll probably prime the 2 remaining dowels we have. One for this one and one for the next one. Let's go ahead and we'll rotate that. I did manage to clean that a little bit before we got started today. A little bit. Some of the fluff colors are like, nah, I live here now. And I didn't feel like arguing with some of the colors, so I'm like, alright. If you're sure about it. I think I need to go outside and clip a tree branch that's growing near our air duct for the heat for the dryer. Or we just need to get in there with the dryer brush. I think there's too many leaves near that outflow. Okay. If I attempt to do that today, it's not going to be till later tonight. Because it is just gross out. Like, really gross out. Like, it feels like there should be a thunderstorm. Or at least some rain showers, and there ain't nothing happening. Okay. That section wants to keep attaching itself to the mat there. Doesn't want to let go. What the heck is that too? And why is it wrapping around? I don't know. Sorry, I had a wire. That I don't oh, that's what that is. Okay. Like, why do I have a wire wrapping around a support on the shelf, excuse me, for my monitor stand? It's to our ring light. That I have above the camera, or around the camera at the moment. Okay. So some of this edge on this side may in fact end up getting trimmed. We'll see. So like I might try to straighten that. We'll see. If I can like stay on the edge of the line, I might. Or if I just keep coming over, I'll have to see what it looks like when we pull the tape off. Really, that'll be the determining factor on... Oh no. Oh, there it is. Like I said, I've been all sorts of fumbly hands today. It's kind of getting on my nerves. Why? Why am I dropping everything today? Like it's starting to annoy me. I really need to not be fumbly handed today. I don't think I've had that much sleep. I was reading something last night and then looked at the time and I was like, oh god, I need to go to bed. Okay. And this guy's really small. It's gonna be a little bit of trouble here. Tacking down. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, we didn't get a whole lot of mileage out of that last bit of fluff, but you don't when you are covering some height as well, so I mean, it still did the job. Just means we'll have to make more grass a few more times to finish up this side, because we're about in here right now, so we probably have 2 to 3 more rows to go, roughly. Okay. There's our light green. Grab some more of our mustard here. bit more of our forest green here. Alright, could get just a little bit of water on my palm. And we'll start to snake this guy together. Okay. Ah, what the heck is catching? Seem to have a rough patch of skin there. Okay. And I just kind of let the fluff do what it wants to do for the most part when I'm doing the grasses. Like if it all wants to clump up in one section and we have some brown poking through, okay. Like it could be a bunch of tiny little scrub bushes and stuff back here. Wildlife could have tromped down walking paths and stuff. It could be particularly windy this day, and that's why we are seeing more of the dirt poking through. So today's probably going to be a little bit of a quieter stream. It's just a kind of quiet, energy zapped kind of day. For some reason. I didn't get the chance to eat anything. I forgot that I was going to have an apple when I got up because other stuff was going on and needing attention and things. So the male cat that had brought his friend over, he got hit by a car last week, I believe. And he didn't make it. So she's still hanging around. And we noticed a day or two before, well, maybe not a day or two, maybe a week or so before, we've been seeing this orange cat hanging around with her in the neighbor's yard. He's very skittish of people, like very skittish, or at least he was. We thought it was a female at first, and that they were just chilling, sitting there. No idea where he came from. He's younger. He still has a bit of the kitten meow to him. I don't think he's over 2. I actually think he might be almost a year old. He's still kind of like lanky, and he seems young for his mannerisms and stuff. And the way he meows at us. But we saw him in the yard the other night when the female, I guess, had called it a night and went to wherever she sleeps for the night, in our backyard somewhere. And he was out there chilling, and Russell was, after about a half an hour of trying to convince him he was allowed to eat, managed to briefly touch his head. Last night, after I touched him, which took several attempts, he seemed to deem that I was his best friend, and started following me, and I'm like, oh no. I just wanted to make sure, you were eating, buddy. And then last night, he warmed up to both of us and was on our porch, sitting, staring at our door, trying to get us to come back out, or waiting for us to come back out. And I was like, oh no, little one, you cannot come in. Number one, you reacted very poorly to the dog. When I had to bring Momo out to pee, and he was right there, and I was like, oh shit. I thought Momo was going to get his face clawed off, because Momo wasn't taking the hint of the upsetted cat noises, and was trying to get even closer up into the kitty's face, and I'm like, Kitty said back the fuck off, Momo. And yet, the female that's been hanging around doesn't give a flying fuck about the dogs. She loves them. She's decided they're her doggies. And she tries to do full body rubs up against them, and they freak out because our cats in the house don't do that to them. And they're like, oh my god, what is happening? It's like, relax, she's being nice. She wants to be friends. You don't have to react so negatively. But none of our inside cats have tried to do that to them, so. Sort of understandable. If I could keep the mat from walking away, that would be great. Okay. So we got one more in this row. For some reason I'm having a harder time keeping the mat from walking away on me today, or I'm just noticing it more. Okay. Actually, we might have more than 3 more. We'll kind of have to see how that pans out. Oh no, maybe 3 more. Three might work. So this will be 1. Right, and then 2, and then 3. I mean, I could probably make it 2 if we really need to. But that might leave it a little too thin. So we'll see here. I feel like this mat is just all over the place here. It's just a traveling guy. Alright. Alright, it's not so bad. We should get this section completed before we're done for the day without too much trouble. And then we'll get to advance the tutorial a little bit and see what's going on with this shrub that's kind of paused on the screen. I did not remember seeing that when we were doing our reference sketch, or maybe I left it out on purpose. That is also possible. Because it's not in my sketch, so obviously I didn't put it in. And my memory is failing me on what the reason was. Unless I thought it was just part of the other grasses and stuff there. I mean, there's a chance I might leave it out still. Because I kind of like our reference sketch without it. Sorry, it doesn't help the tireds. Let's see. 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. I had about 5.5 hours of sleep. It was kind of broken. And then I just took some Benadryl, so yay! Oh my gosh, I've got so much I want to do tonight. If I don't get it done tonight, I'll have to get it done first thing in the morning. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I need to schedule on YouTube from our last round of live streams. I need to prime a whole bunch of stuff. So that we can paint on it. I was actually going to prime some of it last night, but we ended up running an errand that sort of turned out to be a bust. Okay. So we're getting there. I'm still not really sold on that last row of green trees, but we live here now, so if I had it to do over, I would have probably picked a different color. But we're too late now. I didn't realize our grass color was just kind of like fade in front of it. Guess it's okay. Okay. Keep getting all of these like breaking news alerts. And then I check on the headline. I'm like, oh gosh, what happens? And it's not exactly earth-shattering breaking news. It's silly stuff that I really didn't need my day interrupted for. Okay. Okay. Yep, we're going to have to make one more round of grass. Maybe we can get away with only one more row of grass. Maybe. 3 might be a little much now that I'm looking at it. So I've got about, I think, an hour left? No, just less than an hour of that third live stream I'm editing. I mean, I still have a few episodes to get through on that one. But I am trying to get through it as quickly as I can. Alright. I didn't really want to fold that one up because it felt just slightly long, but cutting it would have been really hard to hold on to with my fumbly hands today. We're gonna have another couple of trees sitting over here, so got like a little tiny bump forming in the middle of our pad. We're still usable though, not like the other one where it like domed and we had like a big crater forming on the one side of it. Oh, okay, stretches. Alright, so should we try to get this grass done in one more piece? We probably could. Potentially. Potentially. Okay. So tuck that there. Alright, and we'll get our forest green. Right, that's probably more than enough. Oh, those two different colors. Alright, so just a little bit of water on my palm. Like just a drop from our bottle cap. Okay. This is probably too much. Probably. Alright, so I'm gonna take those bits up. So I'm gonna let these guys be a little bit longer. Okay. Sorry, I had to change what I was listening to. I didn't understand why I was listening to it. Okay, get our next bit of fluff here. And I'm just gonna kind of try to flare that out a little bit. Where we can. gonna try to leave a little bit of dirt showing on this bottom lake bank. I don't know how successful I'll be, but we're gonna try. Okay, we'll certainly give it a good go. I did get my missing tube of paint today. So thank you to Jerry's for fixing the issue. Not sponsored whatsoever. Okay. I'm just gonna tack down that whole thing just super quick. Probably left that one a little long. It could have been a little bit shorter. Hope everybody's doing okay today and that your Monday got off to an alright start. We will probably not have a late night stream tonight. And probably no late night stream tomorrow night. Probably. It kind of depends on a few things. I don't think we'll be doing an afternoon stream tomorrow. Don't foresee that happening. Tomorrow will probably be about setting things up or actually getting priming done if I don't have the chance to today. It kind of depends on how things go this afternoon and this evening. I'm just kind of getting the dirt around where our grass is hanging out here. So we might as well, just to make sure everybody's looking good. Oh wow, we've got way a lot of fluff pulled out here. Probably more than we really need. But I wasn't sure. I mean, in reality, it's not that much fluff. It wasn't like that big of an amount. But even a small amount if wasted, my body's like, no, what are you doing? I might add a little bit more into there, because that's kind of a substantial bit of fluff missing from there. At least in my brain it is. Maybe we'll add one bit of fluff. Okay. So far, I am liking how things are going. Filling in pretty nicely. Hard to believe we're on part 9 already. That feels strange to my brain. I don't know how many more sessions we'll have to go on this one. Sometimes we average around 11. I don't think 11's gonna be enough. Because we still have our dirt that we're gonna fill in, and that's gonna take a little bit of time. So this might be a 13 session 1. And if it is, it is. I mean, not a whole lot we can do about that. get this piece popped into here. Alright, so I think that's probably a good trimmy spot. Okay. Let's trim that guy. And then I think we'll be all done with the grass in this section. And that looks pretty good. Okay. Gently, gently, gently peel that up. Alright. And which way were we rotating? I think we're rotating this way. Alright, so this bit I think we're pretty done with. Okay, so let me put these colors to the side. What's left of the bits that I pulled out that we didn't mix together. Okay. So, let's go ahead and pop over to the tutorial. And, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll see what Bob's doing here. Okay, so he's putting in the shrubby things over here. And then he's adding his shrubby things in the front. Oh gosh, so his is a little different than ours. Just a little different. No! Hang on. I'm sorry, Bob, but this is not an ad for me. So let me skip that. Okay. So he's just slathering green everywhere on there. Oh, what a mess, Bob. That's a lot of paint there, Bob. Oh, that one went all the way to the... Oh, it did go all the way to the top. Okay. So now we have a decision to make. If we're going to add that back in. And I'm not quite certain how I want to handle this tree, because I've tried to do these trees of Bob's in the needle felting before, and it doesn't look quite right. Alright, let me see. Okay, so then he kind of comes back in and tree trunkies that, and then kind of highlights him. Okay, so then I don't know why I omitted that, for reasons, I guess. Okay, so let's go all the way back. And let me pause that for just a second. Sorry, our phone was ringing. And I wasn't in a position to jump up and get it. Okay. So if we can get... Alright, that's not a bad shot there. So I guess I will put that back in. This tree is... I think this is what I thought. Let's see if my mouse is gonna show up. This tree here, I guess, is what I thought this teardrop shaped tree was. Because there's a lot of stuff happening here. I don't know if I'm going to leave it the teardrop shape or not. We might make some adjustments on that. But let's work on getting our ground in first. So he kind of plastered everything with the sap green brown mixture. I can't really get away with that. Because, you know, we don't have the texture of the paint to hold the brush strokes, and it'll just look like a solid green mass, essentially. So what we're gonna do we have to go a little bit outside of the box and sort of create the end thing. Now, he didn't put the dirt in yet, but we're going to. Because that is going to make our lives oh so much easier. So much easier. This comes from experience of doing what? This is our 12th one now, so sorry, I thought there was still some fluff stuck to my needle out of the corner of my eye. Turned out, nope, there wasn't. All right. Oh, you know what? I would like to make some cookies this week. We have the stuff. So I would very much like to do cookies. Oh, you know what? I have oatmeal cookies I should really make. Maybe I'll make those first. I think those are just an add water situation. I keep forgetting I have them in the pantry. I also have apples that I keep forgetting about that got put in the pantry. So even though we're starting the dirt down here, we still have a little ways to go. We're not quite there yet. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. So in here is going to be our pathway. And I'm going to try not to cover that up too much, because then that just means more work for us in the end. Now, we probably could have omitted some of the grass in here, but I wasn't sure what was going to shine through parts of the tree or where the tree was actually going to fully sit. So in that instance, it made more sense to put the grass in. Now, down in here, I'm just giving us some dirt for everything to sit on top of. And that will probably take a minute. It might take, if not all of today, a good chunk of today. Although looking at how much we have to cover, it might take all of today. We will see. Alright. Now, I do try to overlap my colors just a little bit. Or not even, well, my bits of fluff. It can be the same color, and I will still try to overlap it a little, just to keep any strange connection points from taking over. All done?
Yeah.
Did it come out okay?
Seems to have.
I want to clip those branches near the dryer vent.
Okay.
Or I would like you to help me.
Yep.
Because I'm disturbed that the lint was wet, and that's not good. Because it'll, like, turn to concrete.
No problem.
In the hose. And we might have to investigate the hose this week.
Well, it's probably not a problem with the hose.
I don't know, I feel like something's blocked there because that shouldn't be wet on the screen. It wasn't like dripping wet, but it was definitely damp. And considering it was from the last time you did guinea pig laundry, I don't understand what could have caused that to still feel damp days later. Alright, so we're gonna gently peel that up. This is another color that I'm probably gonna have to refill the fluff on here soon. I'm not sure what colors are gonna need a refill before we move on to the next one. That I just don't know yet. Haven't really looked at the next one yet. Figure we'll sort that out once we do our sketch for it. But I feel like we still have a couple of sessions on this guy. Now I can bring our pathway over the edge of our brown, our lighter brown, and I probably will. But I'm gonna try to stay close to the shape of our pathway that we have already kind of sketched out here. Oh, you guys, I have to show you the pen I got. It's so pretty. Look at that. Isn't that a monstrosity? I love it. It is fabulous. Flamingo it is not, but it is still quite fabulous in its own right. I saw it, it was cheap enough, and I'm like, yeah, we have to have this. It's just so fantastical. And I'd never seen anything like that before, and I'm like, wow. Did we have any of those racks that we made, that we put in the drying boxes left?
I think there's like 2.
Do you know where they ended up?
Off the top of my head, I think they're underneath the drying racks, to be honest.
Okay.
What's up?
I want them for when I start priming stuff later tonight. So I don't get gesso all over the place. Or all over me.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'll be able to pick them up a little bit easier. we're not supposed to be forecasted to get any kind of rain for like another week. So that's kind of wild. Or at least I'm finding it a bit wild. How hot it's been. So this is the color Coffee Bean. The yarn is Paint Box. Wait, is this a Simply Chunky? I think so. I believe it's a Simply Chunky from Paint Box. I got it from where did we get this one from? From Lovecrafts. Not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I'll just let you know what it is and where I got it from. Sometimes they have a decent sale. Sorry if you heard that. The cat must have been getting on the counter in the kitchen. And he knows he's not supposed to be up there. Cow, I take it?
Yeah. I went out there because I had the sneaking suspicion he would show interest in it eventually.
I was wondering why you got up so suddenly. I was like, I know you didn't jump up for those racks that I don't need right this second. Like, we'll find them tonight after dinner. Alright. So this is the same dirt shade that we used up in here. I'm saving the Van Dyke brown shade, the chocolate brown that I use, for the depth darkness of our pathway. And I have a different shade of lighter brown that we will use for our highlight on that. This is definitely an area where you want to keep pulling up gently. Oh, so gently. Every bit of fluff here, because it's gonna really want to attach to your mat if you're using one of the fabric mats. So do keep that in mind. If you're on a foam mat, it might not matter as much. You might have an easier time of getting it off there. I don't know for certain because I haven't really used the foam mats, but at least with these mats, you definitely don't want to wait until the end to try to pick your project up off of it, because you'll either end up distorting your project or distorting your mat, or both. Ask me how I know this. When we first started out and didn't know what the hell we were doing, that one bit of information had not really been stated by anybody that I had been looking at videos about. And I was like, oh, that would have been helpful. That would have saved me a little bit of trouble. Because I will say there have been times where I forgot to, or got lazy and didn't release this from the mat. And it was not happy about being released from the mat, we'll say that. I got it off, but there was a couple of moments where I was like, uh-oh. That's not what we intended at all. So I'm just working slowly on attaching our dirt color here. And I know Bob used green, that's fine. Bob also had the magic of paint bristles and paint, where he could get that to work together and hold brush strokes and texture. If I were to attempt that, me personally, in all that one solid shade down here, we would just destroy everything that we've done so far, because it would just look like I'm covering it up with one shade. And it would not really look great. So, that is why we are going to the trouble of doing it this way. Plus, down in here, we're going to have some taller grasses of a slightly different shade. Similar to here, but different shade. And then we're going to have some shrubbies in here. So it'll start to make a little bit more sense as we get through this bottom area. But it will take a little bit of time to get through it. But we're also not trying to race through this either. It's gonna take as long as it takes. And then it might take a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. Because I'd rather be happy with it as we go through each stage of it than rush through a certain part and be like, oh no, shit, now we have to fix it, you know? It's kind of just easier to put the time in while we're here instead of having to come back and do more work later. So I think the boys are going to be hanging out tomorrow night, so that's why we're not doing a late night stream tomorrow. Gently peel up. Tell ya, I am ready for dinner already. My goodness. Stomach, we still have like 2 hours before dinner. You need to calm the fuck down. It's getting ready to be all grumbly. Like, no, it's too soon for that. Too soon. Much too soon. Alright. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this fluff snake. You could just grab it and, like, put it down there and go to town. I just find it tends to cover a little bit better doing things this way. This works for me. Again, this is going to be more of a, well, what works for you, then go for it. Kind of situation. and we are using acrylic yarn instead of roving. I have a little bit of roving, and we have used some roving in the past. I don't seem to be allergic to it, but I do find that the roving is a lot more budget friendly for me and a lot more color friendly for me, as in there's seems to be a much wider range of colors available in yarn than there is in the roving, at least from what I've seen, unless somebody has an awesome roving supplier. But for the cost of a small amount of roving that might not be enough for one piece, I can get a skein of yarn on sale and have more than enough for several projects that we're working on. So I do find it is a little more budget friendly, and yeah, I could dye the roving. I could just get, you know, the cream or white in bulk and dye it, but that seems unnecessary and an unnecessary amount of work for my brain to want to go through that when I don't need a specifically custom color, and I could just buy it already dyed in the yarn and just brush the yarn out. That's a lot less work. Like, I don't want to have to do a craft before I can do the craft, you know? If you like dyeing that kind of stuff and dyeing your own yarn and all that, hey, more power to you. We don't really have the room to do that either. I don't have any place where it could really dry without the cats getting into it or it getting disturbed and dripping all over the place where I don't want it to be dripping, so. It's kind of a twofold reason there. Okay. So we're chugging along here. Actually, the dirt's not going in too slowly on this side. I feel like we're going a pretty good clip. Will we get all of the dirt done today? I don't know. Maybe? We'll have to see. Now, we won't be putting the pathway in today because we're not ready for that yet. Right now, my main concern is going to be working on getting this just this side of the dirt in, and if we get this side done, we'll move over onto the side. Oh, you know what? We probably won't get it done today. That is a good chunk of real estate we're gonna have to cover over there. We'll see. But now that I'm looking at them, probably not. I'm just trying to get this guy in frame, or mostly in frame. Oh, that went in pretty good. So I'm trying to be a little more, I don't know if diligence is the word I want. We're just trying to make sure that we don't have any sections down in here that open up, because this will be a little bit more visible since it's closer to us. I mean, we'll still be having some grass and stuff coming in, but at the same time, I can't guarantee that the grass would cover everything. Alright, so that backside looks fairly straight there. Looks a little bit straighter than the front. Why is that? There we go. Okay. So far, we seem to be doing all right here. Again, I am bringing the edge of our dirt here a little bit further into where I was planning to put our pathway, because I'm planning on the pathway kind of overlapping into our dirt on the edges, and that's okay. So this piece in here, where the pathway is going to sit, will probably look a little bunchy, and the material might look a little baggy in there because we're going to be working on the outer edges of it. On both sides, because you can see as we're working in here, this is like kind of lifting up off the mat because the fibers are pulling in that direction, and it's okay. Don't panic if you start to see that. That's kind of normal. Gentle. Okay. get a little bit more of our brown out because I've exhausted our bit of fluff that we have already pulled out here. Alright. So this guy, we're gonna tap into here. So yeah, so I mean that's just gonna keep on happening. It's normal, don't panic. Everything's fine. Okay. Alrighty. Not doing too bad here. Hang on, I don't know what the heck I'm listening to, but it seems to be going on forever and it's starting to annoy me. I have no idea. What the heck that was. Okay. Everything alright?
Uh-huh. I'm gonna have to run the harps real quick.
Oh?
And grab some stuff for food.
Are we okay on pig stuff?
Yes, so far. Most of that is in the vegetable drawer right now, because I did need to make room. So I put things in the cool.
Okay.
Okay. Keep actually, I'm only running as far as harps.
Okay. Alright. So, again, real gentle here. Okay. Keep forgetting that I don't have to be on the edge of the mat, but my brain's like, no, it has to be over there. I'm like, no, it really doesn't. Stop it. Calm thyself. Alright. So let's see here. This guy looks like a good spot for him. Okay. So we're looking pretty good here. I like how our dirt's coming in. We seem to be doing pretty good there. We really should come back up and finish filling in this guy though. We'll probably need another bit of fluff to help finish filling in that section. At least a little bit. Okay. Sorry, I had to adjust something there real quick. This wasn't the shirt I thought it was, and I grabbed it to put it on, and then I already felt committed, and I'm like, alright. Not that the fluff's gonna make a mess of the shirt like paint would, but I think the shirt might become our next arty shirt. Okay. So you can definitely see how the tape has started to like bunch and pull on this outer edge. And again, it's the same reason why it's happening down here. It's just from the fiber being pulled of our base felt here. As we are ramming our brown through it, more or less. Alright, that looks pretty good in that spot. Oh, I keep getting water over there. How about I move you to over there? That way I'm not worrying about spilling you. So that's what I've been kind of trying to be cautious about here. like we're starting to come together a bit here. Slowly. Slowly but surely. That's why I hold the tail down, because if I don't, it'll start just flopping all over the place. And more fluff will get pulled into any one particular spot than I didn't want it to be. And I mean, you can see that just by this getting pulled up and in. So it works in the same respect. Same sort of principle. I don't remember seeing it as much with the thinner felt, though I do think it did happen. I probably just didn't notice as much. But, no, you know what? I think I did remember seeing it on the bottom edges. This guy's got some weight to him. Okay. Let me make an adjustment there. Alright. Do you think I'm going to change what I have running in my ears? Just because I need something a little different. I'm just grabbing some more brown fluff. Okay. So let's see what we can get done on this section over here. Let's see how we do. Again, we're gonna have trees and shrubs and grass and stuff in here. So this isn't the final color. Okay. Interesting. Alrighty. Get that one there.
I spend literal years trying to find a spider plant. I finally find a spider plant over at the way distant, gardening supply place.
Yeah.
I go to Harps. What's for sale?
Really? How much were they?
I didn't look.
I would have considered getting a second one just so.
In case the first one don't work
Yeah.
out. I am considering it, but it can wait.
I don't know if it can wait. They might sell out. I think we should go back tonight. Alright. So, get our next bit of brown in here. We also got a new aloe plant. I can't remember what we named him. Still, I would consider getting it.
I might still.
I would get it tonight because they've been such a bitch to find.
Yeah, and a second one, and it looks like it's a lot of smaller ones propagated into one bigger hanging pot.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be good to do so. So I might, but I'll worry about that later.
Like, we thought we were gonna have to order it online. And cross our fingers that it would survive shipping. Which neither one of us was real keen on attempting. Alright. Alright. Next bit of fluff in here. Was your mission successful?
Mostly.
Okay. So I'll probably have to add one more bit here. Or like one more stripe. Okay. So we're just gonna finish tapping in our dirt down here. And Bob didn't necessarily put the dirt in here, like I said before. It's just gonna make our lives a bit easier if we have this in here, instead of attempting to rely on a mass green blob to get the job done. So you can make that happen because of the liquid white on there, the paint, and the paint holding the texture of the brush strokes and stuff doesn't exactly work quite the same way with this stuff when you start talking one color, because we don't have the liquid white to work with. It wouldn't work that way with fiber, so we have to kind of skirt around the edge of the box, and we'll get sort of to the same place in the end, but we're just gonna take a detour to get there. That's all. Okay. So again, I'm just bringing this over a little bit into the area where our pathway is gonna sit. Okay, we'll have to add another bit of fluff in there to cover the section that didn't get filled in. And we're going to be doing some grassy things and stuff on top of this brown. But, you know, we add it because, like, up in here, we do have some brown showing through. And I do like that effect. It feels a little more natural. Now, I know there are some areas where you would look and you wouldn't see any dirt shining through. In our lake, it is. They've got the basic idea down. We're basically following along with Bob. We've just had to tweak things a little bit to get them to fit what we need to do to get there. Now this is the step I do personally. I just like to do it. I like to brush down everybody a little bit flatter on the back. I find that the front sits a little bit better when I do that. That's just a personal preference. You really don't want to do that, so you don't have to do that, but I would strongly suggest you at least release your project from your mats, especially if you're using a fabric mat, whether it's wool, felt, whatever. Just to be sure that you can get it up without distorting your project or your mat. Foam mats, I'm not sure if you might need to do that or not. Periodically, I don't tend to use the foam mats. Might not be a half bad idea. Okay. tell you, I have a headband on. I haven't had one on in maybe a week or two. And now my glasses feel like they're sitting too tight. My headphones feel too tight on my head. Although these headphones have a tendency to feel too tight at times. I don't have luck with listening to devices very much. Earbuds tend to make a part of my ear sore on the inside. And over-the-head headphones can make it feel like it's squishing the arms of my glasses into the side of my head, or sometimes it feels like it's making the nose pads on my glasses dig into my nose. And I don't really like the big bulky ones. I don't like the weight of them touching me. I have one pair of wireless headphones that are small and they're lightweight, and I do like them. I just don't always remember to charge them, unfortunately. They're a little bit more comfortable than the pair I'm wearing right now. I just forgot to charge them last night. They don't take that long to charge, but I didn't have time to charge them this morning before we got started. Ah, let go. Excuse me. Thank you. Alright, so we are working with coffee bean. Is the color of the moment. I'm trying to make sure that we are staying within our lines as much as we can here. Especially on this bottom row, because we don't have enough dowel rods on us currently to do top and bottom. So this one is just getting a top. I think when I originally ordered them, I was only going to do a top. And then for some reason I started doing the bottom and didn't think about it, because I know I had been thinking about doing a bottom. And I guess my brain got confused that I had only ordered enough for tops. So I only have 2 left, so I mean, I really should order some more. I just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, so that side's pretty well filled in with our dirt there. Okay, so we're gonna move on to this side. Okay. So again, I am gonna drift a little further over into our pathway area. And that's fine, because the pathway color should more than cover it. Plus, you know, our other shrubbery and grasses and things that are going to be coming in here. We should be just fine. Okay. So I know our lake's a little oddly shaped at the moment. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue once we get everything else situated here. Because we're going to have our shrubs sitting in here. We're going to have some trees and... so that should be fine. Hope everyone's having a good day. Your week got off to an alright start here. Alright. We'll get some more of our fluff out of our bag of fluff holding. Okay. So, let's figure out here where I want you to sit. I guess that's alright. Like I said, this edge of brown doesn't have to be perfect here. Because we're going to have the pathway overlapping it. I'm just trying to bring it over enough so that we don't have a weird seam along the edge of it that we have to try to fix. That's all. And I didn't want to take this color all the way across when we don't really need to. That seemed a little silly. So we are basically going to be filling that in with another color. Okay. I had to crack my knuckles. That actually felt kind of good. Feel the pressure releasing. Okay. So I'm not sure how far down I'm going to go before I start filling in this other side. Okay. Probably shouldn't let it go too far. Alright, so we're going to take this right up along the edge of our tape there. So what's everybody up to today? Everybody having a good afternoon? Thank you for popping in and joining me while we get some arty things done. I do appreciate it. Quite a bit. Okay. Gently gonna peel that up, 'cause I'm not sure how much stuck to it. There, I think we are due for a mat rotation. It's been a little bit. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright. And let's see here about getting the next bit of fluff attached. So we've actually done pretty good today. We got this section up here finished. We finished planting our grass up there. We got this side filled in with our dirt. So our next round of trees and shrubs have somewhere to sit. And we're working on getting this side filled in. So we're not doing too bad today. We've made a little bit of progress. So this is part, well, not really part, but like session 9 on this. We've been averaging around 11. Now, I can't say for sure if it's only going to be 2 more sessions on this one. It kind of depends on how long it takes to put in the next round of grass and stuff. So it might be more like 12 or 13. Depends on what time we get started and how much time we have to work on those sessions. For sure it's at least 1 more. At least. Probably more than 1 more. But I don't really see us finishing this in 1 more session. I think that's being extremely optimistic. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Alright. Just getting our next bit of fluff ready to get work done in here. Okay. So I'm going to start to bring this bit in just a little. Now we might start working on our trees that need to go in here. They're kind of sitting back in here before we fully put the pathway in. I'm not sure yet. I was gonna wait until Bob got to it. But now I'm not so sure. I think I might take a little piece of this brown and just kind of lay it over that front edge up against the water, because I do believe I've got some grasses sitting there. It's always an adventure from me looking at the final piece when Bob's all done, and me doing a reference sketch off of that, and then when we sit down and start actually fully attempting to follow the tutorial, and like, oh, I didn't notice that there. Where did this come from? It's always an adventure. Okay, just gently gonna peel that guy up there. Okay. Next fluff, please. Let's keep on moving. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna finish this brown today. I just noticed the time. We'll get done what we can. We're not giving up yet. We still have like a half an hour. We might get close to finishing it. But I don't think we will fully finish it. Uh-oh, I just heard a puppy shake. Where'd he go? Is he next to you? Oh, there he is. Hi, Momo.
Yeah, buddy.
Do I need to get him this time?
Hi, buddy. Oh my goodness.
Momo's been actually pretty good today. We had that one puppy potty break right after we got started.
And he was pretty calm after that. I give him credit.
Yeah, he's been a good boy today. He actually took me straight for the carport. I don't know if he thought it was raining out. But then he kept trying to drag me further and further into the backyard to eat the grass back there.
Oh, stretches. Oh, come on, old stretches.
I was like, oh no, you don't. I know what this is about. But he's been fairly good about it today. Yesterday, Mr. Momo Muffin just wasn't having it. So he must have been just having a bad day. All right. What is that? Piece of fuzz. Kind of looked like a piece of cow hair. Like Cow the cat, not an actual cow. We don't have cows. No, thank you. I'm good. That's one critter I can do without here. I am more than good in that respect. My mom wanted chickens for a while. I'm like, you understand that they would be outside, right? She goes, no, we'll have inside. No, we're not having chickens inside. That's not happening. The cats will try to eat them. Like, they're going to be an outside pet. And you are going to have to go outside to see them. And they're going to be out back because we have to have room for the chicken coop. And she's like, oh. I was like, yeah. And we're restricted on how many we can have. I don't really want to be taking care of a bunch of chickens though. That's a little more involved than I want to be. Don't really have time to take care of a bunch of chickens. And plus we have coyotes and foxes in the area. It's not like there wouldn't be any predators drawn to them. And I wouldn't trust them to free roam to not get hit by a car. On this busy road. I wouldn't let them free roam it anyway. It's not like we have a bunch of land. I wouldn't want them going onto other people's properties. That's rude. Okay. Whew, my arm's getting a workout today. That it is. So what's everybody's favorite art medium? Do you even do art? You don't have to do art. What's your favorite to watch? I've always been kind of fascinated by glass blowing. And part of me would really like to learn the little tiny glass figurines where you just have the sticks and you're kind of melting and making figurines like that, but I don't have a good enough area to even attempt that in, and I'm a klutz, so it's probably not the best thing for me to do, like an open flame torch running. And with these dumbass cats that we have, I can't guarantee that they wouldn't try to jump up in the middle of a torch running, because one of them is really not the brightest crown in the box, and I don't have a door that I can like shut to keep them out of our work area that we are using right now, so and I have enough flammable stuff in this house. I probably shouldn't have any more. Especially now that we've brought the oil paint stuff back. And I need to get my paint thinner bucket set up. Okay. At least the weather shouldn't be terrible for when we have to put our recycling out this week. And there was a stretch there where it seemed like almost every week that we had to put the recycling out, it was storming or just not ideal weather to be putting that at the curb at. They don't want to take the cardboard and paper if it gets wet, and fair enough, because that gets really, really heavy. Whew. Arm workout. Very much today. Or at the very least, it's right arm day. I've tried to do it with my left hand. My left hand's like, I'm good. I'm good. My left hand likes being the, I like to call my left hand the dumb one, because all it knows how is to hold, all it knows what to do is to hold things, so. At least that's what it seems. There's a couple of things I can do with my left hand. But very much, oh, excuse me, very much more right hand inclined. Alright. So let's work on getting this section tapped in along our tape edge here. Now I do think our tape idea helped. It wasn't a complete win because I didn't get it right on the pen line on the other side. But I do think it helped keep me in check a little bit. I'll probably attempt it one more time on the thinner felts. It doesn't help that this is the thick boy felt too. It's not the stiff felt. I've seen at our craft store they had a premium craft felt that kind of feels like it's maybe 2 or 3 thicknesses of the classic cut. It is thicker. You can definitely feel it's thicker when you are trying to stab your fiber through it, for sure. Like, my arm's getting tired. But we also have been going for 3 hours today, so. And we have been using larger chunks of fluff. So let's see here. Let's grab our next bit of brown. And see where we want to drop this next bit in. Probably there-ish. So again, we're gonna have our pathway coming in through here. So just kind of trying to add the edges of our pathway, make sure that it's going to be covered. Doggies are getting hungry. They're starting to circle. It's not quite dinner time for them yet. They still have about another 25 minutes, half an hour, before they'll get their dinner. They did have a small snack for breakfast, so it's not like they haven't had anything to eat yet today. But they like to be oh so dramatic about it. So we have a few cats, the 2 doggos, two hermit crabs, and 3 guinea pigs. We don't have pig camera this time around because the guinea pigs are A, in the other room, and B, the camera we do have that I could use that is wireless, my computer can't see it, so for some reason that camera is not compatible with Windows 11. It is an older camera. It's more of like a phone wireless access camera. And I don't have a second PC laying around that I can just hook up in the other room. And I don't have cables long enough to run the camera to the other room. And if I did, my mom would end up inadvertently being on the stream when she, caught in a wire. She checks on the pigs. Or the cats would be blocking the view by laying on top of the cage. We have the cage very much cat-proofed though, so don't worry about that. This isn't our first rodeo with guinea pigs and cats. We have a CNC cage that is about, not quite 5 feet long. And it's a little over 2 feet wide. And we have attached chicken wire to the outsides of the cage, to the top and sides, because it does have a lid on it, because cats, so that the cats can't poke their feet through the grids on the cage and be poking pigs. So they are rather secure in there. Plus, we attached part of the cage to the table that it's sitting on so that the cats can't nudge it off. They are all nice and secure. With our cats, we kind of have to think 5 steps ahead. It's not quite the same as playing chess, but there is always that unpredictable factor of when the cat's gonna get tired and just lay down in the middle of the chessboard and knock all of the pieces everywhere. Which is why we attach the cage to the table in an attempt to prevent that from happening. Okay, we're gonna gently lift up. Gently, gently. As gently as we can. Kind of reminds you of those commercials that they had on TV for the Biore blackhead strip or pore cleaning strips. And they did that animation of it close up. And that's how old I am. Alright, let's see about getting this guy worked into here. We're going to come right up against the edge of our tape. And hopefully not needle felt through the tape. That would be awkward. It's just masking tape, so you can stab into it. Just to make things a little bit more challenging when we go to remove the tape. Okay. We're getting there. Quarter of. Don't know if we're gonna finish today. Probably not. Definitely wager no. At least not this section. And that's okay. Next Saturday, or Sunday, excuse me. Sunday's another day, which is when we'll be back to working on this guy. I have a thin spot right in here, or a spot that got missed. And we are going to have grasses and stuff over this. I just want to get that covered up, because you never know if it's going to decide to try to get bigger as we tap in our grass over top of it. Alright. And that, I think, is a good place to stop today. So, when we pick back up with this on Sunday, we will finish filling in this section here and then figure out our tree situation, because I didn't put the shrubs in on the sketch. I might try, or the tree that's bigger than the shrubs, I might try to do that. I need to figure out where the trees are going to be sitting over here. So we're getting there, but we're not quite there. The next scheduled stream is going to be on Thursday for Coral Island. Friday we'll be working on Planet Zoo. We'll be back in Tappy Feet Children's Zoo this week. And Saturday we'll be back to working on our farm-themed canvas painting and acrylic. I'm not sure if we're doing any bonus streams this week yet. That kind of is going to have to see. It'll be later at night if we do. Because I'm going to need time to work on some stuff. And I don't want to have to stop because I have to go make dinner, so it's going to have to be something where I actually have the time to sit down and work till I'm done. But that will be for another day to figure that out. It won't be tonight. I've got too much to do tonight. So we'll see. Just make sure that you've got your notifications turned on here and that you're following at the very least. That way you'll know if we do a bonus stream. Because those won't be on schedule because they're bonuses. So I do thank everybody for hanging out with us this afternoon and stopping in and seeing what we're working on and how we're doing. We've got one more tutorial in this season to follow before we have finished season 3. And we're getting there. I think we have at least a session and a half to go on this, if not 2. Depends on how much time we have per session and how far we get. Don't forget to follow the socially links down below somewhere. They're there somewhere. That'll take you to the Ko-fi, the Instagram, the Twitter, and the YouTube pages. And the YouTube page, we tend to archive just about all of the live streams over there. sometimes we'll have time to record something that ends up on there that wasn't live streamed, but lately I've been locked in a whole bunch of editing mess, so I haven't had time to do that recently, but you know, you never know. And it's free to subscribe over there, so if you want to, go ahead and head to the YouTube channel and drop a subscription clicky click over there. Alright everybody, you have a good week, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday for sure, migraine permitting of course, for some Coral Islands. Until next time, you guys.